Hey guys, it's Ashley with 3R Sales and Service. Today we're taking a look at one of our 48 by 48 Raven skid assemblies. So this assembly does have some modifications from our standard package. So I'll go over what's normally included and then some of the modifications that were made for this customer. So the system includes a 5.5 gallon a minute pressure washer, 3000 PSI. It's got the Honda GX 390 engine on it. This particular one has the electric start upgrade. And then we have a 12 volt soft wash system that is 100 PSI rated. So we have the soft wash panel off to the side here. We've got the pressure washer right up front. With the pressure washer, you can see we've got all of the nozzles easily accessible just on the front panel. We've got our unloader valve with the cool bypass connected. That cool bypass goes right back and connects to the 55 gallon water tank that's behind us. Whenever the cool bypass system is engaged is when you're spraying through the wand assembly, and then all of a sudden you let go of that trigger, and when the engine is idling but it's circulating the water through the pump, it's keeping it nice and cool because you're using water from your water tank instead of just a small closed loop system. That being said, we'll move on from there. I got a little bit wordy. Beside it, we have an additional pump here. This is actually one of the modifications that we made. So this customer has a water-fed pole system. He wanted to have a way to pull water from the water tank to his water-fed pole system. So we have one of those Tucker 12 volt pumps with a power switch so that he can just use that without having to take his system on and off the truck. Above, we have our pressure washer hose reel. Both of the hose reels here are Titan aluminum hose reels with stainless steel manifolds. Our pressure washer reel has 200 feet of hose. Our soft wash reel also has 200 feet of hose. And then we've got our locking connectors right up front here. On the pressure washer reel, we have our soap injector on here. So this is an adjustable soap injector with a stainless steel body. The knob right here is how you adjust it. And when it's all the way closed, you're not pulling any soap at all. When it's all the way open, you're getting up to a 20% draw. And then of course you can adjust that for anywhere in between, depending on how you need to dilute your detergents. Down here we have like a 3-way ball valve for selecting either from your bleach tank, or you can choose the other option and go through a dip tube. So the dip tube assembly is kind of all tied in back here. We could grab it, but they've got it kind of tucked back in there a little bit. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, we're getting ready to install this here sometime next week. So the dip tube is just an extra length of hose that we just drop right down into a random bucket. So you don't always have to pull bleach through your chemical injector. You can pull whatever you have in a separate bucket. That way you're not pulling the line out of here in order to pull soap through your Tuck that right back down in there. While we're on this side, we'll go ahead and talk about the soft wash system. So this is our 100 PSI, 7 gallon per minute pump. It's connected to our Midwest manifold. The manifold meters the water, surfactant, and bleach that's on board here. And then underneath the bleach valve, we have a flush valve. So that allows you to pull water through that bleach valve and either rinse out your system or just apply water with your soft wash system. Down here is the accumulator that just kind of helps with the flow through your soft wash system. We have our charger on here. It is a charger, it's also a maintainer, so you can use it over the winter to keep your battery nice and fresh. Beside it, we have our, this is the battery for the pressure washer. Back in there is the deep cycle battery for the soft wash system. This hose right here is actually part of us connecting to an additional water tank. So that was one of the other modifications. Typically this skid comes with a 55 gallon water tank, a 55 gallon bleach tank, and a 7 gallon surfactant tank. This customer wanted to have an additional water source. So we have, not an additional water source, but a larger water source to pull from. So we have a 100 gallon tank that's going to be tied into the 55 gallon, giving him 155 gallons of water. So the pump that's going to that water-fed pole 12 volt pump is actually going to be pulled from this 100 gallon tank, and we'll make all those modifications and plumb it all in once the customer gets here. This is going to be installed into a Sprinter van. So we'll go ahead and check out the other side of the skid. We do have the hose reels on top of an aluminum table just to kind of give it fit as much on this 4x4 platform as we can. On this other side here, you'll see that we have our fill line. So right down here is where you would connect your garden hose in order to fill your tanks. Whenever you fill this 55-gallon tank, there's a filter before it goes into the tank to keep debris out of it. And as you're filling that 55-gallon tank, it's also filling your 100-gallon tank at the same time. So there's nothing special that you have to do, it's just filling both simultaneously. And then we have our tank drain here. So just an extra length of hose comes off the bottom of the 55-gallon tank. Again, it will drain both tanks, and then it's controlled by a ball valve here. So it's a nice brass ball valve so that it can get kind of thrown around a little bit, or you can toss it into a bucket, wash your hands. It's just a heavier duty way instead of using like a PVC one. Down below, you can see we have another T strainer. This is the strainer that's going right to the pressure washer system and to the soft wash system. So it's getting filtered before it goes to each one of those systems. And then this is the T strainer that I just mentioned to filter the water before it goes into your tank to keep any of that sediment out of there. And then from the other side, this is how it would be mounted. This would be in the furthest part of either the truck or the van. And then your hose reels would be accessible from either the tailgate or the rear doors of the van. So a super versatile type setup. If you have height limitations, we can even move this and keep it down a little bit lower. I think the overall height is somewhere, I think, under 53 inches. So lots of different ways that we can modify this to make it work for different applications. But if you have any questions or you want a little bit more information, a lot of it is already on our website at 3rpressurewashers.com. Again, this is called the Raven skid package, or you can give us a call and we can answer any other questions that you have. Thanks.